here's what we've done. We've cut a patch. It's going to fit right over this, just like that. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cover it, or coat it, with poly brush. Prepare it. There's two ways you can do this. The book says to use poly tack, which is it's almost like a PVC cement. It's really thick and gummy, kind of makes a blob and a mess. And you can thin it down with MEK, which is fine. But what I have found, I've got some poly brush that acts, it's like a sealer, but it's also like a rubber coating, and I've got it mixed with the MEK to thin it. And what we're going to do is we are going to completely saturate this patch with this poly brush. And what this does is it soaks right down through the fabric, and it seals up the pores, but it also gives a gluing effect. So I'm going to do it on both sides. A nice even coat. And then, because the polytone, the poly brush, and the poly tack are all in the same category, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the complete area where this patch is going with the poly brush. Even the little piece that I cut out, I'm going to go beyond the seams about a ½ inch all the way around, so the whole area will be prepared. Now this will actually sink right into the paint. I've tried it both ways before, and this really works good. The other patches that are on the plane have never come off, they never come loose. All right, we get that all nice and saturated there. Then what we're going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to cover the piece that I cut. That's what I want to stick first. So try this again. There we go. Now, we're going to pull it tight, get all the bubbles out of it. And then what we're going to do when it's done is we're going to heat it and shrink it, and that one should pull these pieces back together quite a bit. The good thing about this poly system is if you mess up, you can just MEK it, pull it right back apart, take it right back off again, and start over. I still want to get it in on that piece that I cut for the flap. What I really want to do is have that flap pulled right up and seal the little joint where they come together here on the inside, like this. I want that sealed and dry first. On both sides here. Still doesn't want to stick. Put it in there. There we go. Now, seal it on the outside. Now, when we heat it with the iron, not only will it shrink it, but it'll also smooth it out, take all these little bumps out of it. As we pull the sides a little bit. The other way that they suggest to do it is you MEK it, take all the paint, make a little masking tape around it, put some MEK on a rag, and take it right to the fabric and start over again. But what I want to do, because the paint is still so good, and it's not brittle by any means. Hoping that this will seal right in. Now once that's dried and set up, I'll coat it again, and then I'll let it sit for a couple of days. Next day I come down, we'll bring the generator, we'll take the iron and we'll heat that and smooth it out and shrink it. Then we'll paint it with at that point I will prime the area with tape, mask it off, and then we'll spray it with poly gray, which is it's a silver paint. It's UV resistant, and then when that's dried, then we'll put the finish coat on. So let's take a look and see what it looks like so far. That's what we have now for a patch, and it's nice. No lips. There's no lifting. We can take the iron and we can actually smooth it out, and the iron heating it will actually activate it and pull it back in. We're going to do the seams first over here, and then after it's completely to the point where I want it and it's really glued good, then we will shrink this area right here and it'll pull it right tight, and hopefully we will have our wing still in really nice looking shape. Today we've come and checked out our patch. The patch seems to be really good. The iron on it, smoothed it out. It's all shrunk. Nice and tight. And then the next step would be to put some paint on it, blend it in, mask this off here so no overspray will get on. And once we mask around it, we'll just go ahead and spray it. We'll spray it with the silver first, and then we'll spray it with the blue. While I was at it, I also had some spots. I came into the hangar one day and I found somebody here or something going around. So I went ahead and patched that. There's a couple of small wear tears here, and I think that happened while I was working on it. Pieces that I had stood up fell, and it doesn't take much to punch a little ding in it. Now on the other side, and we have a slit right here, up and down, so we're going to patch that. And another small hole here, and one here. Now all of these holes are all from dropping tools. And so our next step will be to mix up some paint, and we're going to mask off. We'll put masking tape here to separate the blue from the yellow. We'll go ahead and we'll do the yellow first on all of these pieces of the yellow, and then we'll mix up some blue, and we'll do the blue here and here. We'll swap the masking tape after the paint's set up, and then we'll go and we'll do the wing as well. Alright, we just got done repairing the wing. I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is the patch area right here. It's all been painted. You can see where I masked it off here, put in the new paint. And also over here we had all these little patches that we put on. As you can see, if you get up really close, you can see the patch. So from back here, it blends right in. You can't even hardly see it. There was one there was one here. Still got a little bit more painting to do, but all those patches are done now, so came out pretty good. Not too awful bad.